Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 26th of July. We have made it one more day by the grace, love, and mercy of God. So thank you for waking up with me. My name is Janet. This is WKAX 1500 AM, the Winning Worship Radio Show. Before we get into the rest of our show, you know what, there's a lady I talked to, and it wasn't long enough. And it was briefly yesterday, Miss Johnny Watkins, and she had a lot to say about, we touched on so many things. It's health, there was mental health, there's renewing of the mind, there's just so many things that we touched on yesterday. And again, like I said, it wasn't long enough. So I decided that a lot of you need to hear this. As I say, the world needs to hear this. So again, her name is Miss Johnny Watkins, and I would like for her to explain to you about health, renewing of mind and spirit. It all ties. It's yes, we're thankful for our doctors and medicines, but there are some things that medicines, just can't do. Now, don't stop going to your doctor. I'm not saying that, but there are other ways. I'm gonna have to let Miss Johnny Watkins explain that to you. Miss Watkins, are you with us?
I am here 100%.
Okay, Ms. Watkins, can yesterday we just went right into it. Can you explain to everyone what we were talking about as far as health is concerned?
Well, first of all, I'm a registered nurse. Plus, I went to school for Chinese medicine, and I mixed the Western with the Eastern. And doing that, it caused me to be quite sensitive to the body. And I need to know what, when, where, how, and why the body is hurting here or sick here. So about 4 days ago, one person called me and says a young person is in the hospital on respiration. I said, what happened? He said, if you're ready to go run out and do his exercise for the day and run the dog, legs started getting weak. Then his voice started changing, couldn't talk. And then they carried him to the hospital. Now he's on a respirator. Came home and they told me, oh, your pastor had a heart attack. And by the way, while I was sitting in the chair getting my hair done, my hair cut, Barbara said, oh, I don't feel good. And within minutes, the man was on the floor. Blump, hit the floor. Telling my son about it, he said, Mama, I don't know what's happening, but two of my friends having the same thing. Now he paralyzed, from one of them paralyzed on his left side. I said, I fell on my knees. I say, Lord, Lord. And all these are men. That's
Right.
what upset me. All these are men. The devil is after to destroy, kill, steal, and
Destroy.
destroy our
Yes,
men.
ma'am.
So, men, you better watch out. Get your house in order because you have a gift. You are carrying a seed. You're here for a reason. But let me tell you the next thing that happened. I called to Texas, calling all over the ministers. Somebody, please help me. I want to do a survey to find out what's going on with the men.
Right.
Please help me find. This is too big for me. Help me
Yes,
find
ma'am.
out what's going on with my men. So, God's men. That's what I meant to say. But what happened with this pastor in Texas told me, he said he was troubled with that same thing. Men in the hospital, more men in the hospital, more men in the jail, more men on the
Yes,
streets. So
Lord.
he started preaching about that. But he did a check out on one thing. He said, I talked to people, a man that has a funeral home, and they did an autopsy on the body. Started doing an autopsy on the body, and they found out that there was 40 inches of clotted blood in the bloodstream,
My God.
which is quite unusual,
Mm.
they said,
Yes.
from previous year, like back in the 2020. He said it wasn't like that. But now this blood clot so long they couldn't believe it.
Good
So they
God.
did a study on it and found out. Now you all need to get your pencil and paper because I'm gonna do some survey on this thing too, and I need you to help me. They said three things were missing in that blood that they checked. It was the zinc, the magnesium, and the iron. Now, if I get a chance to talk again, I'm going to do a study on all those minerals because we need 67 different vitamins, minerals, amino acids, 67 of that every day. And
We
we started lacking it, the circadian rhythm would break down. The circadian rhythm is a rhythm that God has made in our body so it can heal itself. But when you started eating wrong,
right.
taking all the wrong medication, I don't care if it's drugs or either doctor stuff, not stuff, but some stuff where you actually need. But we started taking that stuff for years after years and piling stuff on top of each other pills. Something going to happen to this temple of the Holy Spirit, which
Oh,
is your body. And
amen.
you got to know about your body. You got to be sensitive. There are organs that come on shift a certain time of the day. And in that
Mm,
time of the day, each organ is working. But there's 2 hours every day an organ is come on shift and work most effectively. If you're going
okay.
against that organ, and no, we have nighttime organs and daytime organs. But if you're going against those organs, against what God had made it to do,
Right.
you're destroying the rhythm of the body. You don't want to go on shift and you're tired and you haven't eaten. You're going to break down. The
Right.
same way with the organ. He made everything in decency and
And
in
in
order.
order. Amen.
So you got to respect your body and
Mm.
make sure when you start that's a symptom.
Yes.
Your body is talking to you, but you were ignored. It's a good thing that we don't drop dead. Your body is saying what you ate got a lot of mucus in it, and it's trying to the immune system trying to sweep it out,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll swallow it back down and ignore and still eat the
Oh, yes,
same
ma'am.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, get in tune with your body. I'm gonna stop right there. Just get in tune with your body
You
because
know,
there's so much other stuff,
well, what
and
some,
I need your help
oh,
so
God.
bad.
Listen, what you said, well, you said a lot of good things and a lot of informative things, but I'm going to just start with this: respect your body. And the other thing is listen to your body. You know,
Yes.
a lot of people, like you said, they just just clear it and swallow and keep it moving, or they're tired, but they ignore the fact that the body and the mind needs the rest.
Yes.
And one thing I didn't know that you brought to my attention, Miss Watkins, is uh, that the organs and things go in shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And this I didn't
Right.
know. So in your studies, is this how, because you're not only an American, but you said an Eastern with the,
Eastern.
mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
they do medicines different than we do here. I would think that it's more, because they always say you've never seen a fat Asian.
Yeah. You're right.
Because of the way that they eat. And I think how we are so on the go that we just grab food. And I believe with my body anyway, the older I get, there are things I can't or don't want in my body anymore that I used to eat.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't function the same.
Well, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Our parents always told us that breakfast is your main meal for
Yeah.
today.
Yes, ma'am.
Years ago, that is what the Chinese speak and teach how important is the breakfast.
Mm.
Because there's an organ that come on shift at a certain time of the day, which is the stomach, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. If you don't feed that stomach, then it,
Mm.
when it started your stomach to boil in the top, epigastric, right up in top of your stomach, started boiling. Your body is talking to you. You start getting sleepy or tired or something like that. You get a headache. Those organs, you have
Wow.
organs that runs from your toe to your finger to your head. And whatever organ that's supposed to be coming on a shift is going to send signals to your toe, to your finger, or to your head. So happen when the stomach come on shift and you don't feed that organ, you get a headache because you haven't eaten because the
Wow.
channel
Yes.
will run up there. You
Yeah.
already know you get a headache, but you don't know why. You got to understand what, why, when, where,
Mm.
and how this thing started. Otherwise, you're creating your body off the circadian rhythm. And then guess what happened? The next organ come on shift with the spleen. The spleen gonna say, okay, the stomach Organs talk to each other. The spleen gonna say, the stomach didn't feed me. Feed the body this morning, so I can't do the function that I'm supposed to do. The
Okay.
spleen is saying, I
Mm-hmm.
transform and transport whatever you eat and drink into blood and energy. But the stomach was not fed this morning. He just ate a donut or eat some coffee and some bagels
Mm-hmm.
and nothing nutrient. You need 67 different nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't get it in there what you ate. So you got bad blood, and the spleen cannot make blood. But the next organ come on shift is guess what? The heart. It's dependent upon the heart, the spleen to make the blood so it can pump the blood.
Wow.
And
Here we
then
go.
that's what everything go crazy. So you got to feed the spleen because feed the stomach in order to spleen to carry out the work of making blood because the word says life of the flesh is in the blood.
Come
So
on
that's
now.
the thing. First thing you got to work on what the Bible says. Know you not that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit?
Amen.
You got to, that body does, our body does not belongs to us. So we got to respect
Yes,
something
ma'am.
that's not even ours.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, the body is the temple, and we have to respect. Now, see, you put that in everything that you said. I followed along, and I'm just smiling because it makes so much perfect sense the way that you word it, the way that so that everyone can understand that this organ depends on this organ, the function of this organ depends on that, and then it depends on us from the beginning to feed it,
Yes.
and that's where when you were talking about being hungry, I know from time to time if somebody says, oh God, I'm getting a headache, and I always say, is it a hunger headache? Because to me there are different types of headaches, and I always
Yes,
go
it
to
is.
hunger because if you haven't eaten, then your head starts hurting, you feel weak,
Mm-hmm.
you feel so everything that you're saying, the way you're breaking it down makes so much sense. I have this one question. You mentioned 67 nutrients. That's what we need every day.
Every day. Every day we need it.
And
But
I
no,
know.
the
Go ahead,
problem we're
please.
having now is our soil is depleted of nutrients.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So where do you get it? You got to get it from somewhere. You can't get it from these fast food
No,
that's in
ma'am.
our neighborhood. So you have to have that's why they call food supplement.
Okay.
They also call it herbal products.
Okay.
Now this morning I went out to my yard and I've been foraging, which is to go out in the jungle and looking for stuff that's natural. Out in it, and I went out in my yard and I learned that I have stalks and stalks of quarter. What's it? Quarter round? I think
Mm.
it's quarter round. But it's stalks and purslane. Those are good for your body, for your blood, for getting rid of mucus. And I have them in my yard.
Growing
So what I'm gonna
naturally.
do with that? I'm
Yes.
gonna get that and I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna put some onions with it. I got wild onions out there too. I get some onions and chop it up. Put a little oil in the skillet, and then I'm gonna scramble me an egg
That. Mm-hmm.
and put it over in there and eat it. It is so good. The quarter round sound like it's kind of like tastes like spinach.
Okay. Now, may I interrupt you real quick because when you were talking about that, there's some people, and I could have this wrong. Oh God, forgive me. Is it? It grows wild in the yard, and I don't know why I'm keep hearing pork salad or some. And they say if you don't cook it right, it could really hurt you.
Yeah,
It
I don't
make
know much about poke salad, but they said you.
okay, so that's a different thing than what you're talking about. Am I
I'm the
correct?
same thing. The
It's the
same
same
thing.
thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, because
But
they
you have
talked
to
about scrambling.
understand that the purpose of that herb, what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has toxicity
Mm-hmm.
in that herb poke salad. But you have to know what to eat and how to fix it.
Right.
Yeah,
How to prepare it. See, and I was
yeah.
it at the time I had a house. It was just growing up around the yard. I didn't know what it was, and I would have neighbors come over, or at least this one particular neighbor, and she said, "Do you mind if I come over and pick some of this?" And that's when I was introduced to it. And so she said,
Hmm.
"Not everybody can cook it, so you have to cook it right." And she would come over just as though you're picking greens in the yard. And
Yes.
so now that you're saying this, oh my God, things are just growing naturally, but we have to know how to prepare it and if it's safe for us.
Yes. As the word says, we suffer because of lack of
Lack of
knowledge.
knowledge.
Yeah.
And I like
So,
that you're incorporating, because I mean, it's natural to incorporate the Word of God with our health, our physical,
hmm
and our mental.
hmm
And that's, to me, it's mind, body, and soul. It has to be fed.
yes, yes, yes.
And these men that you spoke of earlier, um, do you feel not only the diet, because it's incorporating, the Bible, the Word of God, along with we're living in this world, but I know that men are being attacked. And I,
Yes.
I would love that everybody, I know it's an on the go, rushed world, but I think it's our diet as well, and we have to slow down a bit.
hmm
I mean, like
Yes.
you said, listening to the body, because if you don't, it'll put you on your back.
Well, let me tell you that what happened when I went to the hospital. Let me let you go.
Yes, ma'am.
I went to the hospital to see about this guy. The family wrote my name on the intensive care that I can come in. So I made a herb. I give God the credit for this herb.
Yes, ma'am.
I made this herb that's called Dominion, and I use it to release any kind of pain anywhere, internal or external. So I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to that hospital because if somebody brings some information to me, I feel like with the gift that God give me, I'm
And
supposed to do
yes,
something
that's right.
because everybody here, just like Jesus was sent here for a purpose, so are we.
Amen.
But you got to understand and seek what He sent you here for, and it's not about money, although you need money,
Right.
but your gift will make room for you.
Cool. Come on now.
Yeah.
Say it.
Okay. Oh my God,
Say
this
it.
chill is going all over me.
Yes, ma'am. It just got me too. I promise you. That's why I'm like, oh Jesus, she gonna have me hitting the wall.
But when things come to my spirit, I said, okay, Lord, I know that's, I asked you from 7 years, when I was 7 years old, I was eating grass from the yard. That's
Mm-hmm.
another story. I'll tell you another one. But back to the man in the hospital. I went in there praying. I said, Lord, and it was family was there. I said, Lord, family is here, and they already calling me strange,
Mm.
weird, because I'll tell you what total rub if your menstruation is off, your period, menstruation is off.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll tell you what a rub to regulate your period. I'll tell you what a rub to get rid of pain anywhere in your body. So they call me strange. So I said, okay. They don't know I went to school for this, and
Right,
the Chinese
right.
medicine, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in there. I said, okay, Lord, I know the hands and the feet goes to the head and got swelling in the head. And I said, I need to touch
Wow.
something. Tell me what to do down here at the feet. I went down to his foot. His foot was pale, and I rubbed that Dominion on it. And you know what happened? The
Mm.
blood vessels got bigger,
Ooh.
and you see a pulsation through that blood vessel. I say, glory be to God. Thank you. You're doing it, God. You're doing it. Do it. Do it.
Mm.
Do it. And you see the largest organ in your body is the skin. The skin will absorb your internal fluids and external fluid. It
Okay.
will open up. That's the function of the skin. Is open up when the body get too cold or either too warm. It will open up or close up. That's how come you get chills when you get cold
Y-
because the skin is closing the pores up to keep the body. That's the immune system doing that. God
Wow.
made the body for to do that. But that organ works along with another organ, said the large intestine. But if you're not drinking water, the body and the large intestine are going to work together. And then you're going to get constipation if you have not put the water in the system. So I said, okay, Lord, I'm going in this man's room and I want you to tell me what I need to do. So when that pus was pulsing and just beating, jump, 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 I said, thank you, you're doing something. I don't know what it's doing, but I believe it. You're showing me you're doing
Amen.
something. Then I did the whole foot. On the bottom of the foot, the kidney run that under the bottom of the foot. So the skin gonna deal with the lungs. The kidney gonna deal with the water. So I went under the bottom of the foot because my goal was send it to the head where they caught him in a coma. And girl, I'm looking for something to happen. The circulation in his hand turned pink. His
Mm-hmm.
toes turned pink. And I said, okay, Lord, I'm just waiting on you.
Yes,
I
Lord.
believe and I have faith. And
Mm.
I got fired from my job for people being healed. So I'm looking for you to do it again, to
Wow.
demonstrate who he is and who we are. And if you know him, what you got. You don't know what you got when you got Jesus. You got power. And I listen to the words in the bed when I go to sleep. I listen to the word when I'm cooking. I turn everything off. The word has power. You get
Yes.
the word in you, you can go do something.
You're going to have me shouting. I mean, that's real talk. You have no idea how I'm sitting here trying to contain myself, and
Oh my God.
I mean, really, it's exciting to hear someone who's so in tune to health in a spiritual way.
Yes,
Not
yes,
just a doctor who, it's not to put down any doctors, I promise you, but someone with the passion and love of Christ in them to do His will, His work in healing through natural herbs and medicines, or just simple eating right and resting and, listening to the body. You have to, I mean, it
yes,
knows what it's talking about. We don't always
yeah.
know.
Right, right, right.
We kind of mislead, or as Pastor Knox would say, manipulate things, and we try to make it fit according to us right now. But the body
Uh-huh.
is going to do what the body's going to do, and if you don't listen to it, it's going to respond a different way. So I love your passion and your energy with this healing and listening to the body in a yet medical but spiritual way. It goes hand in hand.
It started when I was 7 or 8 years old. And I saw this plant keep growing every year. About a chicken cook, so you know where I am. Chicken cook, and this plant was growing every year in the same spot. I said, how in the world plant gonna grow every year in the same spot? So I always got inquisitive, and I said, girl, I'm going over there and see what this is, test it out. And I pinched it, and it smells so good. And I
Mm.
tasted it, and it tastes pretty good. I said, "Oh, I can make some gum out of this." I'm very creative, and I was making gum out of this. I said, "I'm gonna chew it every day." I started chewing this stuff every day. I
Wow.
started vomiting like crazy. I thought I was getting ready to die. I was scared to tell my mother. Like I said, if I
Right.
don't die from a whipping, I'm gonna die from the herb.
This is right. Oh my God.
It seemed like my guts was coming out,
Mm.
so I stopped. And then when I came to Chicago at 16 years old and bought a house at 21, that same herb was by my window and it's still there now. I said, "Oh man, I'm allergic to this herb. I'm allergic to this weed. I'm going to kill it." I chopped it and chopped it and chopped it. And I said, it won't die. What that mean? It won't die.
Oh.
I said, it keep on flourishing
Okay now.
like I was harvesting it. I said, it must be something mean. It's meaningful about this herb.
Right.
Followed me
Right.
to Chicago. So I said, I started being inquisitive about it and try to find somebody that had more knowledge than what I had.
Right.
Got this old lady, saw this lady at the store, and I told her the story why I was vomiting and stuff. She said, "Oh, you got some children?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "How they doing?" I said, "They got asthma and they sneezing and coughing and running nose." She said, "Oh, you got what you need. God planted it right by your window. You got what you need for your children." I said, "What I got?" It said peppermint. She said,
Wow.
"But you have to be careful because it works with your bowels and stuff too. It's deal with your digestion system, but it bring up mucus." I started giving my children that tea, and it's left. I had asthma. My asthma left.
Oh my God.
I said, God. Then I started looking in the yard. What else I have? I had dandelions. We killed dandelions, but dandelions has medicinal property
Mm.
that helps you with your headaches, diabetes, um, what else? Lack of potassium and things like that. But see, we got to study what God has made, already made. Everything we ever needed, He's already. When He say that is finished, it's
Yes.
finished.
You're
We
right.
just go out there seeking what He put out there for us, but
You
we don't seek.
Have you ever heard of like peach tree leaves? Because I remember even my mother saying before, she said everything that man has made now, she was speaking on black people. She said, how do you think that if people couldn't afford to go to the doctors, how do you think we made it and survived? It was what was
Yeah,
in our yard. So she said, believe me, old folks know what they're talking about when they say,
that's
go out
right.
there and get me a couple of peach tree leaves, and you can put it on the forehead, wrap your head, and it soaks out the
Hmm.
fever, and just all kind of little, what people say, oh, little home remedies. No, this is stuff that's
Yeah,
out in the yard,
in the yard. Yes, yes,
and
yes.
that's how we made it. And I tell everybody, besides you thinking I'm crazy, I'm pretty fit. you know I mean, I still need some help. It's with every year, like Pastor Knox said, with every birthday, you lose a little something. So
Hmm.
I'm just saying that I do believe in herbs, and I do believe in natural things. I know that we need to be assisted with medicines, and I'm happy that technology has brought us this far. But bottom line really is, God has provided everything that we need out there in our yards, in the fields. So, but and I have to go back just a little bit. When you say food supplements, is that should that be incorporated with the diet if you don't have a really good diet?
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. That's when I got involved. When I was in Chinese school, they were teaching get you some food supplement to go into your office. But I
Mm.
already had that, and I just love herbal products. I
Oh.
already had that. Then he started name off the products that crosses the brain cell barrier. God has already put that in my hand. I've seen a tumor shrink in the brain.
Mm.
It was so large that they could not do surgery.
Mm-mm.
But one of the products I gave shrink that tumor that they didn't have to have surgery. And the Dominion, one lady, I got testimony on my Facebook that one lady, and I didn't even know this. I learned this last week. I hadn't seen this lady in about 10 years, and I've been bugging her about giving me a testimony.
Mm-hmm.
She told me last week that the doctor wanted her to come in and get a shunt for dialysis because
Mm.
the AC1 was up, the can control the blood pressure, and they couldn't. It's three things. Oh, cholesterol was up.
Mm.
All that was up,
Mm-hmm.
and they called, and I went over there and gave her some Dominion, not knowing. I said, ask God what to do with it. He made it. I just put it together. Don't ask me all these questions about this herb.
Yes.
Go to God. That's what he.
That,
That's what I do.
that's it,
What I
right?
put. So he told me to carry some over with her. And she told me last night, this happened 10 years ago. She told me last week, she said, you know what, you remember that I needed a dialysis to get on the dialysis, and you brought
Mm-hmm.
your Dominion over there to my house. And I said, what you do with it? She said, I put it in a glass, that bottle, I put it over in a gallon of water and I drank it. But you
Wow.
were giving it to my sister, my auntie. And when everything ran out, I had another problem. I said, what happened with the first problem? She said, well, in 2 days, my sugar was left from 464 down to 101. I said, what? You didn't even tell me
Wow.
that.
That's a big number.
That's a big number in 2 days. And then she said, I said, what else has happened? She said, well, when I had pain in my side, my right side was so bad, it was going all the way down my leg, around my waist and stuff like that. And you worked on me and you told me it was the gallbladder having problem. I said,
Mm.
as your digestion system was jacked up. And I said, your digestion system will lead you to being a diabetic. She said, I am a diabetic. I was a diabetic.
Was.
I said, you got to still eat right.
That's
She
right.
said, well, you did that stuff all the way around my waist, the dominion all down my leg, and guess what? The doctor told me I had gallbladder problem. They had stones, and they wanted to remove it. Guess what? I still got my gallbladder. I say,
Wow. Wow.
God is awesome. He
That
is so
is.
awesome.
That is because a lot of people, I've heard this, and, I don't know, but I've heard over the years, they say, well, the gallbladder doesn't really have so much of a function, so you can have it removed. I mean, they weren't speaking to me, but
Yeah.
it was my friend who was in the hospital, and she did have her gallbladder removed. And then I thought, but I don't understand why they say it doesn't really do anything. Then why is it in there?
You're right.
You know, there's a function for everything that's in
It
us.
is.
So you can't say that, oh, that's one of the least of the organs. You don't need that anyway, so we're going to have to remove that. I don't
Uh-huh.
really remember.
He wouldn't put it. He wouldn't have put
He
it
wouldn't
there
have
if
put
he
it there.
didn't need it.
Come on now.
Right.
He's not going to just put organs in there, just, "Oh, I need to fill up this space." Everything has a function and a purpose.
Everything on this earth that he
Come
made
on now.
has a function and purpose so he can get the glory out of it.
Come on then. Let's
Everything.
say hallelujah. Here you go. Now you're going to start something. Well, you started something when we first got on the phone. I was just trying to be quiet. Will not, and I promise you that, because um, this is not your last time. You have way too much to offer, and the people need to hear this, and we all need to get on track. And with our system, it's not an overnight thing. I understand that, but I'm all about physical and mental, spiritual
Uh-huh.
health. It all ties into one. So you're very knowledgeable. You break it down to where we all can understand, and you've captured my attention. And I think I said that to you yesterday. It's just I could just
Yes.
listen to you and then ask you questions, and then when you answer, you come in with such glorious, to God be the glory, passion and love with it. So, I would trust you. And for those who said in that hospital, "Oh, she's just crazy," well, then I'm crazy for Jesus, because this is what's in me.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
This
yes,
is
yes.
what's in me. So, I mean, I thank God for you, and I'm glad that we've had this opportunity to talk. And it will not, please best believe it's not your last.
But you know what they call me crazy because this is what I do some weird stuff. I
I'm already loving it.
let me tell you one of the weird stuff. I say, send me a picture of your face and your tongue. Give me a picture of your toes and your fingers.
Mm.
So they send me a picture, and I tell them about what the tongue says, the signs and symptoms that will show up on your tongue and your
Wow.
face, where your moles are. And I tell them about their body, and they don't even have to tell me.
Good Lord. Okay,
So
that's a gift. And now I know yesterday when I said it was a gift, you said it was knowledge, but
it's
it's
knowledge.
also a gift because it's been in you for many years. The way you
Yes,
say you
yes,
wanted
yes,
to learn more, and knowledge is the key. And then
yes.
you're passionate about it, so that means it's in you. That was your gift. It's an awakening. I love, so I maybe some people think it's crazy and that it's not quote unquote normal. But when you go into the doctor's office, don't they look at your throat, your tongue, and your ear? So what's the difference?
Well, they look at your tongue. Your tongue talks and tells you you have organs that runs. I don't know if they be looking for this now. There are organs that give a symptom on the tongue that tells you what's going on in the body, and also your ears. But I don't think they're thinking about that perspective.
No,
What,
no,
what I'm
and let
talking
me
about.
correct myself. When I said the tongue, no, usually they put that depressor thing on the tongue. They're looking more at your throat. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, they're
yeah.
looking more at the throat. So I had to
Like the
correct
throat.
myself. With you, they may
Yeah.
think it's different or strange because you want to look at the tongue itself,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that tells a story to you. So I mean,
Yeah.
when people aren't used to something, then they just go ahead and go straight to it's crazy. or
Yep.
it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to me. But a lot of things that um, pertain to God, the mysteries of God, it just listen. I just go, okay. He knows better than I do. I don't have to
Mm,
understand everything to know that if it be His will, if it's right, then that's it.
mhm.
So we have to just trust. And like I said, you haven't lived this long not to, like my mother said, I haven't lived this long not to know a couple things.
Yeah. You're
So
right.
I'm so thankful for someone like you. And yes, I may on the side just being selfish call and ask you some questions because
Okay. All right.
I mean,
But you know anything? You can do the same thing about just asking. Tell me one symptoms that you
mm-hmm,
have. I like to do consultations.
mm-hmm, yes, ma'am, mm,
Give me one symptoms. I don't have to look at your tongue and stuff like that. Give me one symptom that you have that you want to get rid of it. I'll drive that symptoms to the tongue, the acts, to the eyes, and to the face, or whatever. Either just the symptoms that it affects the other organ, and I have not
right.
seen you, and tell you what the other organ is talking about. That's causing that symptom in your body. And if you don't do something about it, that organ gonna start hollering too.
Oh Lord.
So once you got one symptom and you know is what time of the day that symptom is hurting you, or either what time is occurring, you know there's something happening at that time. That's the key to tell you exactly what organ is that. That's the key.
Well, see, okay, now another thing that you're pointing out, and I really like that is, well, we touched on it earlier. You did, is to not only respect the body but listening to it, and like
Yes.
you just said, what time of the day does it really bother you? What are you doing?
Mhm.
Because I
Mhm.
don't know if it's like maybe I'm doing something to aggravate it, and it's trying to tell me you can't do it that way no more, or
Right.
certain
Right.
foods, it's like when I eat this, I start feeling this kind of way. So if we start
Yeah.
paying attention,
Attention. Exact to the time. It has to be, and then you notice if it's a sharp, or either it's a dull.
mm,
For instance, if it's in the ear, if it's a high pitch or it's a low pitch, each one of those pitches relates to an organ.
wow,
Yeah,
those Eastern
it's
studies taught you some.
it's deep. It's deep. It's deep. I may tell you. So when people get in touch with me and want to know something, I just tell them. Uh, I just wet the tongue. I said,
Mm-hmm.
now most people have problem with dry lips. A lot of people have trouble with dry
Mm-hmm.
lips. And then dry lips will lead to dry tongue. That will lead to mucus. That will lead to skin. Skin and the dry lips will lead to two organs, the spleen and the lungs. Then you look at the symptoms of the spleen and the lung that they're saying they're complaining of. Then you know what to do because two other organs come before that sick organ and two other organs come after that sick organ. So you have to do a research and so you can see how your body is responding to that dry lips, what's causing it. And then you have to break it down. What you gonna do about it? Why is it happening?
Mm-hmm.
When does it happen? And you have to break those down. And where is it your lips are dry? On the side, in the middle? Because every part of your body relates to an organ.
Oh my God. No, I'm saying
Yeah.
oh my God because you're making me think about every little part, of the body because somebody say I have ache and pain, but they don't think that it relates to a certain organ or that they
Yes.
go hand in hand.
They go
No, my
hand in
back
hand.
is hurting. Why are you checking my feet? So everything leads to one and they're connected in some sort of
Yes.
way from
Yes.
it. So
Yes.
it's making me think well, I was going to say every cell of my body, but you had me thinking about my skin now. How does that relate to this? So it's a lot more than we are paying attention to. We're just doing
Right. Right.
our basics. But even when we go to a doctor, it sounds as though we need to examine ourselves so that we
You
will
with
know.
yourself 24/7. He
Come
with
on
you
now.
15 minutes.
So if we go in there and say this is what's happening and this is what's happening and then have those questions, because a lot of times we just listen to what he has to say. And like you said,
Mm-hmm.
he's with us 15 minutes and we're with
Mm-hmm.
ourselves 24/7. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't let him tell me what I'm feeling. Or,
Yeah.
I could tell you this and well, no, it's relating to this. No, but why is this happening? So we have to have those conversations with the doctor so he says, okay, this person's in tune with themselves. They know what questions to ask, you know, because I want to hear the truth. I need to know the truth. And earlier I said to you about as we get older, or at least for myself, there's some things I just, well, I really just don't want to eat because I believe in preventive uh, medicine, if you will, so that if I take care of myself the best that I can, I'll prevent these other things from happening. Now, some
Mm-hmm.
things are just going to happen, but if
Mm-hmm.
I take care of myself, the older you get, so I can't just do burgers all the time. That I've never been able to eat like that anyway, but I can eat a burger, but it takes me forever. It takes me forever to finish it. So certain things that the body just doesn't want anymore or can't handle.
Okay. But you have to be careful. Something you said, just said, you have to relate what you said to our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them having babies at 90 years old.
Wow. I would need not only therapy, but Jesus would have to sit right there next to me and talk to me. 90.
Oh, so you have to be careful since you're getting old and you can't need something that's don't speak. Life and
Mm-mm.
death is in the power of your tongue. Don't speak like that.
No, no, I was saying as I get older, I don't feel old. I really don't feel old. And you are absolutely right. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, and I don't want to
Yeah.
speak anything into the universe. I'm just thankful I am getting older, that I have a birthday every year, and I'm here to celebrate it. But it's just that certain things, and I've never been that one to really want certain things in my body anyway. I'll taste it, but I can't really, and my mind and my stomach, if I say, oh, I'm going to have something, I can't do grease in the morning. That's just me. It cramps my stomach. Now,
It's
maybe in
good
the
to know that.
afternoon I can
Yeah.
have it. And I don't know if
But
I've
let me tell you,
trained
wait a
my
minute.
thinking
You see,
like
you
that.
make me talk more than I wanted to talk.
Oh, I'm so
But
sorry.
every 12 hours, if
Uh,
you did something in the morning, in the afternoon, guess what's going to happen?
what?
12 hours later, you're going to feel the effect of it.
Mm,
I had a pizza. My granddaughter made a pizza, and they was cooking it. And I came there late. It was about 11 o'clock, and everything was gone. So they ordered me a pizza. 11 o'clock, I was eating a pizza. Oh, it was so good. I don't know where it came from. It was so good. I tore that pizza up.
mm,
11 o'clock, I had to be at the meeting the next day, so I stayed all night. I was in a meeting, and that pain started shooting through my right side, down my hip, as if somebody had a knife
mm-mm.
juggling, just stabbing me. I looked at the clock. It was 11 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Come on now.
Exactly. I said, oh man, let me go get me a lot of water so this pizza can move on out the way. I
Mm-hmm.
drank a lot of water and it released the pain.
Wow. See,
Every 2 hours and every 12 hours, something's going to happen.
as you're saying, as a result of what we eat.
What you eat.
Oh, my. Boy, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and I'm meaning this as a bad joke, but yeah, I'll be walking on eggshells. Like, oh, wait a minute. You want that, but you're gonna suffer the consequences later. And like you said, that pizza was oh so good. So,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
and so you don't believe in like denying yourself per se, but just like you said, drink plenty of water. You know,
Yeah.
I like.
Half of your body weight in water. If you
Mm,
weigh 150, drink 75 ounces of water a day. Now, if it's hot, you got to drink more because your body's still, you know, sweat
yeah.
respiration, perspiration, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure you're drinking more than the minimum of 75 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, I know I've kept you longer than we both thought, but you're a very interesting woman, and you keep it real, and I love your laughter, and I love your passion and your energy towards all the health and spiritual health combined. I
Yes.
really like that, and that's the way we should look at it because it is our temple, and what we put in it, is a result of what we're going to get out of ourselves. And I do
Well,
believe in herbs. Thank God for you. I'm telling
yeah.
you, I believe in herbs a lot. I think herbs sometimes can replace certain medicines if they're used correctly, if people
Yeah,
know what
I
they
believe it
are.
too. I haven't taken anything for pain, for no kind of problem that come across my health since 1992.
Wow.
Not even an aspirin.
Come on now.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
One of the ministers said he was paralyzed. He couldn't walk. He was determined to walk. He made himself get out the bed, but he hit the floor so many times. But he was leaning, depending on God. And I said, if he can do it,
Come
God,
on.
I, I can do it too.
That,
I was paying insurance, 400 and some dollars a month for my insurance. I said, if I can never be sick, why would I pay 400 and some dollars a
come
month?
on now.
So I canceled my insurance. I said, I'm gonna walk by faith. I refused to take any medication for this asthma that I was having. My asthma was so bad, I was attempting to kill myself
Wow. Wow.
because I could not breathe. I said, all this oxygen that's given off by all these trees, and I'm giving off carbon dioxide, so the trees can use it, and the trees give me oxygen so I can breathe, but I can't take it in.
Mm.
If that's the case, Lord, I might as well go come where you are.
Mm.
I
Mm.
raised up the window. I said, if I fall with my head down, probably I'll die. And my son walked in. He's just started walking. Was 8 months old and walking already. God knew that I was going to do that. Started him to walking real early. He walked in the room. He said, eat, 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 eat. You know how to say about eating? He
Mm.
saved my life by walking in the room saying that
Yes, Lord.
I forgot about him. Wrapped up in self. I should have been
Right.
wrapped up in Jesus.
Mm. Mm. So you see who he sent, right?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Saved my life. And I have testimony on top of testimony, testimony on top of testimony.
And
I suppose
no, go
even
ahead.
when a honest bee, let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop.
No, listen, because I need you back on this show again, and I know if I've kept you from anything, I do apologize, but selfishly, I
No,
do
I'm
not
enjoying myself.
because I've enjoyed you. I've
Yeah.
so enjoyed you and your knowledge, and again, you're just lovely and passionate, and so I want to thank you for giving your time to us today.
You're so welcome. So I got one favor to ask your audience. If you want me back, you call that phone, call the station phone, blow
Oh.
it up. Then, then I'll come back. But if you don't want me back, I don't have no reason to come back.
Oh, I understand, but I don't have any fear. It's gonna get blown up because anyone who's out there who wants to, have a good quality of life, it's never too late. If that's what
Hmm.
you want for your life, a good quality of life before the Lord calls you home, then
Hmm.
yes, I would think that everyone would want to have this knowledge and then be
Yeah.
that happy, and think, oh my God, I don't have to take this anymore. After it's into your system. So yes, I do believe your prayer will be answered on that. You will be back. Because if anybody wants to live a good quality of life in a somewhat natural way, then yes, yes. I mean, because
Okay.
I'm one person and I'm excited. It's just so nice to know that you're there, that you're out there and that you have this knowledge and can help many of us, not just me being a little selfish. I keep saying that because I just can listen to you and the stories and your testimonies all day. But I know that you have things to do, and we only have. Can you believe we only have 10 minutes left of this show?
What? What happened?
No, because it's from 8 to 9, and you have I'm telling you, you were a very interesting guest, and you just breezed through it. And so, to God be
Praise
the
God.
glory on that. I'm telling you, you had some good stuff to say, and I wanted you to say it and have the time to do so.
Well, we haven't even cracked the book open. I have a book
Come
that
on, that's why you
talks
coming
about
back,
everything
Miss
that I
Ma'am.
talked about.
That's that's why you got to come back. We want you to start cracking that book open and get people motivated. That's the thing. Get people motivated to be in tune with themselves
Hmm.
and always to God be the glory, because when you feel that good and you're taking natural things and you want to pay attention to each organ. Yes, I mean, to God be the glory. Really.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
and really, I
Well,
do thank you. Um,
thank you for having me. Thank you audience for listening too.
well, I'm clapping. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm clapping.
Okay.
So we will speak. Listen, you've been listening to WKAX 1500 AM with I'm just going to go ahead and say the famous Miss Johnny Watkins. And we will have her back on again. Just let me know, as she say, if the audience wants her back. But if I have to walk around with a sign in Walmart, that's what I'm going to do. But listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and we will have you on again real soon, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
You
Have a
take
blessed
care.
day.
Be blessed.
Bye.
Now, we have been talking to Miss Johnny Watkins, and you know what? I did not realize that the time has flown by like that. She's an amazing woman. I'm just gonna put it like that. Amazing, and I love um, her knowledge of Eastern and Western, in medicines and herbs, and so she said that they call her crazy, but when you're in tune with your body and the different organs and the different touch and to look at someone's tongue, I mean, amazing. So she was very interesting, and I'm sure we are going to have her back again. So again, I applaud her. So we'll have her on again to talk more about our mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. Okay. And also, I just want to throw this in, that renewing of the mind and thoughts will bring peace. I know that in the everyday hustle and bustle, but when you are not trying to, once you say, I got to start thinking different, I have to start doing things different to bring peace or to be more healthy or to, be able to play with my grandkids or whatever your reasons are for, this is our body. This is the temple. We got to take care of it so it could take care of us. So, again, I can't thank her enough for being here on the show, and we'll have her back again real soon. Because we only have just a few minutes, I have a couple of announcements. And this is their second annual prayer rally. Okay, it's the second annual prayer rally. The MC is our city council, Councilwoman Katrina Simmons. Okay, she'll be the MC. And it's Bridging the Gap, Seeking God for Our City. It's their second annual, and let's see, it's August the 12th at 4 o'clock, 901 Gatman Park Drive, Gattman Park Drive in Muscle Shoals. And they said you don't want to miss this, so it looks like they have a few good guests. Let me get my glasses on here. There are two ministers, and I'll read this to you again. This is my first time seeing it, but it looks like, oh my God, it's the second annual. Minister Jeremy Casey will be there. Minister Shantia, I may pronounce that wrong, Stewart will be there. Craig Ferris, he's the area rep of FCA. And then they have a health motivational speaker, Keenan Porter. I'll give you this information again tomorrow because, like I said, we're short on time, so I may be rushing through. You didn't have a chance to get your pencil, pen, crayon. For more information, please contact Latoria. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Last name is Porter. She can be reached at 256 area code 335 9335. Again, that number is 256 335 9335. For more information, please give Ms. Porter a call. And again, that's the second annual prayer rally. The MC will be Councilwoman Katrina P. Simmons, and it will be August 12th at 4 o'clock, 901 Gatman Park Drive, Muscle Shoals. And that's it. Yeah, and I gave you the phone number, so I'll give this to you again, please. And it's hosted by, the MC is Katrina Simmons, but it's hosted by Latoya Porter. So please give them a call for more information if you need so. And one last public service announcement, I'm so sorry. RMP 2023 Jump Fest. It's an outdoor event. That's August the 5th. That's a Saturday from 12 to 6. That address is 1300 Southwest 8th Street in Sheffield. That's 1300 Southwest 8th Street in Sheffield. And for more information, call them at 256 661 0087. Again, that number is 256 661 0087. They'll have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, face painting, vendors, bouncy houses, and a live DJ. So give them a call for more information. Oh, I see there's free food, free haircuts, free shoes, free backpacks, free entertainment, and more. So that's August the 5th, and I'll give you that information again. Listen, I want to thank you for listening to WKAX 1500 AM. I really enjoyed this morning. She's a special guest that we have to have back again. I really didn't realize the time got away. And you know what? And I don't regret any of it. I mean, we could talk about the current events and what's going on in the news anytime, but it's rare that we get someone who can talk to us about our bodies. You know, our bodies are important. Our minds, my God, our minds are important. Like I said, mind, body, and soul, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. We need to get that intact, if you will. Okay? So I'm kind of excited about it. And when I told her that now she's making me think about every inch of my being, you know, just to like, wait a minute. If I eat this, it affects that. Or if I don't do enough of this, you know, just try to exercise as much as you can. You know, I know we're all at work, but even if you're sitting in your chair, every commercial, do a little something, if you're physically able to. You know, read and research things. If you're having some problems, before you go to a doctor, know what it is exactly. Just don't say, it hurts right here, and every time I do this, it hurts. Like she said, is it a sharp pain? Is it a dull pain? You know, just be in tune with yourself so that you can tell the doctors and then you ask the right questions. But listen, I wish you a beautiful day. May God continue to bless you in every way. Just have a all I can say is I'm so happy right now because I've got to rewrite myself. But listen, thank you for listening to WKAX 1500 AM, the Winning Worship Radio Show. And I will be here tomorrow morning at 8, and my prayer is that you will join me as well. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Peace.